phone might die. That should be alright. Oh, Ice Flex.
It's 9 games. Me? I'm bad. Alright, we can do this photo now. So that's cool. Where's my phone? This is, I think this is a funny vantage point. What? How was those? Sweet. Can you do one just without? No, I can do one like this. Here, with no board. Yeah. Can you retake again? Take another one, please. Yeah, just with It's a different view here at the Florida Panthers IceDen in Coral Springs, Florida. The 9 straight winning FAU Ice Owls come back to their second semester slate. That sees them in an important tilt in a CHS matchup, trying to go for 10 straight and keep their stranglehold on CHS and the AAU. Hi, everybody, and welcome ringside from rink number 3 here at the Panthers IceDen. Devin Serra is live with you, and this one a College Hockey South matchup, the first of the second semester for FAU, the number 2 team, nationally ranked, and number 3 in College Hockey South overall, comes in with an impressive 11-2-0-1 record. They have been on a heater, as we mentioned, 9 straight wins off the backs of their top talent, which they may be missing some of tonight, but Caleb Owens, one of the CHS All-Star Europe team names, along with Rocco Bruno, lead the charge with a couple of missing Ice Owls we'll get to in a little bit later, but against a very battle-tested Florida Southern Caucasian team with a record of 4-8-2-2. They have been struggling in College Hockey South, ranked near the bottom at 10th in the standings, but make no mistake, they have been in some impressive tilts. 4 overtime games this year for the Caucasians, and second of 3 straight they're playing this weekend. They started off last night with a 4-4 tie against University of Central Florida, which saw their top 2 scoring talents in Will Marshall and Michael Wall score all 4 Caucasian goals, and 2 apiece to match what was a UCF onslaught on the scoring sheet. Vincent Simonian, who's starting tonight, the freshman out of Park Ridge, Illinois, stopped 67 of 71 shots. And make no mistake, he is going to be a big reliant on an FAU team that has been scoring at will this year when we look at the head-to-head matchups. We have a minute left in warm-up time. Some of our top stories from the night, we mentioned that Florida Southern just has not had the season that they've wanted to start. Their first semester slate saw them lose as many as 5 straight in the middle part of the first semester. Some good wins in there against Miami, 2 straight, which they have momentum coming in 2-0-1 in their last 3. However, the games they had against USF and Tampa were anything but easy, as they saw them drop 14-2 against USF on night 1 against them, lost 9-7 the next. And then Tampa Division II, they lost 18-3. But the crazy part about AAU hockey is the bounce back. They won 3-2 the next night against a very talented number 2 in College Hockey South Tampa Division II team. We'll get to the standings as we look at those in a moment, and I'll correct myself. Number 5 Tampa, as this is where these 2 teams sit in College Hockey South. Middle Tennessee as at the top spot, still with 33 points, 16-1-0-1. South Florida right there in second, a point behind at 15-4-1-1. Your Florida Atlantic Owls at 11-2-0-1, 23 points, but they have 6 less games played to the Bulls over in South Florida. Central Florida slots in there at number 4 with 19 points. Tampa at 17. Lynn, Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, Miami, and Florida South. These Caucasians all separated by just 5 points from 5 through 10. So a lot at stake for this Florida Southern team that needs to climb the ranks quickly if they want to get better seating for the College Hockey South tournament and have any chance at a national tournament bid come March time. Followed up by Georgia Tech and Embry-Riddle to round out the scoring. But the preview for your Ice Owls, like we mentioned, 9 straight wins. They had some impressive closeouts against USF, 8-2 and 4-3. And as many FAU fans know, the battle at the beach and the 2 wins against Tampa have catapulted them to the number 2 rank in the nation. And they're led by second-year head coach Christian Long, who was supposed to coach the CHS All-Star team over there in Europe, but his wife gave birth to his new daughter. And congratulations to the Long family on the birth of their daughter. And so great to see for the FAU family. A lot at stake tonight for both scenes. We're going to turn it down ringside for the announcements of our starting lineups and the playing of the national anthem. Starting lineups for both sides. First, the visiting Florida Southern McCausins. Thank you, Marianne. First in net, they're going to turn to Vincent Simonian. As we mentioned, the freshman out of Park Ridge, Illinois, stopped 67 of 71 in the tie against UCF last night, sitting in the year with a 3-3-1 record, 3-3-2, 6.14 goals against average, a .851 save percentage. They're going to send out their top unit tonight, which has been mightily impressive. On Florida Atlantic side, however, they're going to go with their netminder, reliable, a CHS All-Star from Europe, Rocco Bruno, the sophomore out of Springfield, Pennsylvania. Scored a goal in the Battle at the Beach Championship in that 6-3 win over Tampa. That was his first semester highlight. He sits with a record of 5-2-0, 2.71 goals against average, .906 save percentage. And for Florida Atlantic, it is tonight their top line with Caleb Owens starting, along with Jake Murphy and Brady Baser, DJ Randall, and Jake Murphy, or rather Nick Oliverio on the back end. An important game for both teams as we kick off the second semester. This starts the push for the postseason and a number 2 FAU team that has national championship inspirations. Florida Southern has something to say about it. So 20 minutes on the clock. We are underway from the Florida IceDen in Coral Springs. First touch goes to the Owls and Brady Baser, getting on sign with Caleb Owens. Those two have been combining for a multitude of points in the first semester. A big part of the reason that FAU comes in with 9 straight victories and in conference play. So Baser stops, wants to get up to the points, trying to gather it up under his feet. That time is Jake Murphy, lost handle over center ice, and back to retrieve it was Murphy. Fresh lines coming out. Littman joined with Cotter and Goldberg. The McCausins trying to reclaim the puck now after that opening draw went to FAU. Right through the center ice, Van Horn's legs with Rigoloni and Frommer on the back end. Now cutting into the net, Bruno, first stop of the game, as cutting in hard to the net was Michael Wall. 2 goals yesterday in that UCF tie. Sets him at 14 games, 17, 16, 33 points on the year. This guy simply is as good as it gets, a product of Dardan Prairie, Missouri. Played with the St. Louis Blues AAA program for a couple of years, 16 to 19, and was 50 points last year for the Florida Southern McCausins. A very talented product. We'll talk about him and Will Marshall all night long. But here's FAU with the puck in their own zone, trying to get reclaimed on the forecheck through center. The puck went through the air, through the middle of the ice. Caleb Van Horn, nice move inside, poking the puck away that time was Matthew Frommer, one of the seniors on this team. Now into the net. Simonian, first stop, second on his pads, and swallows it under himself. Boy, he had a Hunter Littman absolutely flying in from the left post area, and you see right there at our center ice vantage point, we are in a little bit of a peculiar spot between both Florida Southern and FAU benches, and not our typical vantage point. Typically, when Florida FAU plays at the IceDen here in Coral Springs, they're on the main rink on the left side. Some problems with that ice tonight, so a last-minute change. And here's a chance in front. Simonian at point-blank range makes the stop on Keith Goldberg, the junior of Cranberry. Had to be pretty savvy in there, and you see right there again just FAU with for now 3 straight face-off victories to start this game. That's been really the key for them getting set up all season. Now FAU wraps it around the end boards. First man to touch is Littman. He's looking for his options up to the point. Brockett takes one on net, off the left pad, stopped, kicks out to the high slot where Peterson is there. Rice collects it at his own bench, tried to dump it forward. The streaky man to get to it was Van Horn, too far away. Now McAvini meets up with Peterlin right at the logo. Littman back on side, drops it off, shot on net, Simonian, another stop. Boy, Simonian has gotten a heap of action in the first 2 minutes, already gone. And a talented product of Libertyville and Vermont Hills out of Illinois. Simonian, we mentioned the miraculous numbers he had in his past when he was with Libertyville. An impressive 1.73, .932 save percentage. But since he's come to Florida Southern, he's had a tough go of it. The thing that stands out is that goals against average, 6.14 on the year. And obviously Florida Southern has had a tough time in the goals against department this season. Look out, they've got a chance on side. Trying to cut into the net is Michael Wall. One of the talented products, the sophomore, couldn't get an open lane as taking that puck away quickly on side. Daniel Tobe to the middle of the ice. The shot over the net, nearly through the glove of Simonian. never got a piece of it. Now behind the net, streaking Declan Catone in front. FAU's Emilio Stabile couldn't get the shot off in time. Never even fanned on that. That one streaked out to the left half wall. Look out, FAU almost got caught offside and making fresh line changes. The lone man was Justin Harshaw defending. So a fast pace to this start of this game already. It gets a lot faster when you're this close to the ice too. And here's Leon Biller, the captain, trying to get onside. He gets the puck taken away. Good defensive stand by Ethan Dubois. Now a play for it. Wool couldn't catch it as Thander got through at the red line to get the puck taken away. Leon Biller is there, getting help coming with Thander now. Florida Southern getting outmanned. Defending it that way is Wayne Arts. Trying to reclaim the puck is Baraldi. Up in the air, grabbed for it. Just slammed down by Marshall, the talented sophomore out of Webster Groves, Missouri. We'll say his name a lot. 21 goals on the season in just 14 games, 35 points. Him and Wall have, in a large way, been the primary scoring for this Florida Southern team. This year sitting at a minus 43 goal differential. That's one of the worst in college hockey south, but they've got a good special teams unit, and we'll talk about that later. Here is FAU. Fresh changes off the bench. Baser cuts in front to the left circle, trying to find an open lane. Gets it taken away. Philip Chevrolet made a good job to poke the puck away and send it down along the FAU blue line. So Button hooking in his own end. Jake Murphy trying to find some room. Baser, nice stretch pass, gets up the right wing. He's cutting in with speed, gets to the middle of the ice, taken away by three McCausland players. As he gets help now with Baser once more, coming in with Goldberg. Now behind the net, that's Caleb Owens trying to free up the puck to the middle of the ice. And nearly getting a good shot opportunity that time was Randall, DJ Randall. And that one just went under his legs. I stand corrected, that's Brady Baser. Tipping this one onside, Colton Wyden. Here's a nice look, stretched in front. Cotter tried to get the shot off, defended well by Tryon. And Florida Southern, even though they've let up a couple of shots, they have been pretty sound getting those rebounds for Simonia, not allowing FAU to get second and third chance opportunities. 5 minutes already gone in the first. Devin Serra with you rinkside for game number 1 of 2 this weekend with FAU and Florida Southern. This FAU bench is stingy, trying to get all of their lines active early in this one. They started, both teams did, their top units getting it going. Look out, couldn't be touched up by Goldberg, and that's going to be an icing against the Owls. So first face-off will get in their own zone. Still scoreless in this one. And we mentioned both head coaches, how, rather on the Christian Long side being here today, done a heck of a job with this program. Second year, took them to the national title game last season where they lost to now Division I Florida. And an impressive record. Look out, one-timer slapped wide of the net. It looked like Rocco Bruno nearly got a piece of the blocker stretched out. He hasn't seen more than one shot on net officially when that was the first 30 seconds of the game, when all Rocco really had to do was glove it down. The reigning goaltender of the year in CHS Division II. Look out, here come the Owls. Shot, score! Hunter Littman! The dandy feed in front by Keith Goldberg sets up Littman, and FAU has the first punch of this game and their semester. An impressive move to get around the defense on left wing. Florida Southern only had one defender against two guys, and he picked the passer instead of the shooter, left Simonian out there. And Simonian had trouble getting from right to left past the glove side. And that's how we start off things with a bang. Littman within the first 5.5 minutes of this contest. The junior of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. That shot sails wide and out of play around Rocco Bruno. So that we know of. Goldberg the assist on the goal. You may notice the pause trying to hear our PA system. So the start you kind of expected how much McCausins were in their own zone for the large part of that attack onslaught, and an odd man chance. The first one for FAU is punched through. And this guy has a lot of talent to him. That's his 4th goal of the season out of Toronto, Ontario. Played at Newman University. There's a good swallow by Simonian on Harshaw. But Littman really bounced around a lot of good junior hockey in his youth. 18 to 20, spent it with the Buffalo Regals, the GOJHL. An impressive 74-game career with them, and then spent 4 years at Newman University and elected to attend FAU as a junior, and has made his presence known on this lineup, which is stacked with junior and former NCAA talent. Now the McCausins, look out, they've got a 2-on-1 chance in the front of the net. They never got the shot off. That was Bradley Peterlin who couldn't find it under his wickets, and now trying to turn around and put another opportunity on net is Williams, and he couldn't find a man. So FAU sort of escapes a good opportunity for Florida Southern. Here come the FAU back in the attacking zone, and that one ricocheted a couple of times. Never got on Simonian. Now dangling right circle chance. This one with FAU making fresh line changes is held onto by Murphy. Circles the attacking zone. Now whips around to the end boards where it's attempted to be cleared out. Taken away by the Owls, and a shot on net by Biller off the shin pad of a McCausin defender at the red line. Baraldi comes off, Stabile in, but the puck was sent up out of the arena, and that will stop things with 12:48 to go. But you may have noticed in the opening ceremony, we had, I'll just say, quite the sight. The swim and dive team at Florida Atlantic, honorary puck drop tonight. They had 10 or 12 divers, I'll call them, shirtless, pantsless, and nothing but their skin-tight swim trunks. And in the rink like this, it's freezing cold down here. They must have been feeling it. There's a nice stop by Simonian at the slot chance by Murphy, who one-timed it. Boy, FAU, you can't hold your breath. They have been on fire, outshooting Florida Southern what looks like around 8-1 as we nearly hit the halfway mark of the first. And as we see the puck go out of play, talking about the Florida Southern side, head coached by Gilles Richard, who's not here tonight, coaching up north with another team. And Nick Nugent is the only traveling coach, his 5th season, one of the pioneer coaches to head this Florida Southern group, which started in 2019 and had only about as many as 9 guys on the roster in that season before COVID. Might have actually benefited from a rare sight, which was the COVID year. Even though not playing, they were able to get some recruits going in the 21 season. Eventually, last year, they made it all the way to the Division III National Championship, bowing out to Miami. And then elected, like Florida Division I did from D2, they moved up a rank, first year in D2 College Hockey South, and he told me there are growing pains that come with that. Here come the Owls again, the established Division II team. Caleb Owens, one of their leading scorers, an all-star from the Europe team, trying to circle his attacking zone, but with help coming at the point, was taken away. Now turn around, DJ Randall trying to keep the forecheck going. Owens is there at the end boards, gets decked into. Baser has it. He'll whip it around to the other side. Murphy catches it at the point, tries to get it deeper, taken away at the legs that time of Paul Rigolini. FAU stolen. Here's a chance in front. Murphy to Owens. Eyeing it off the goal post. Off the right iron as Simonian made a diving play from right to left. And Murphy and this top unit buzzing as we start this contest. It's going to be iced by Florida Southern, so they have to come back. Oh, he's Simonian. He's such an active goaltender, just flying around here and on this Florida Southern bench side with Nick Nugent sort of pacing the line. He is solo with the only person behind the benches along with backup goaltender with Simonian. Rather, I've been calling him Simonian. This is Jason Cribbs. Apologies on that. Boy, I know I'm not very keen with McCausin fans right now. Sorry about that, guys. With 10:44 to go in the first period, Jason Cribbs has been terrific, stopping upwards of 10-plus shots. Yep, I see you guys. I see you guys. I get it. I get it. Regardless, though, Cribbs is a natural talent here, as we mentioned. Simonian was the goaltender last night who started 67 of 71, but Cribbs getting the nod here. Has had some pretty experienced goes of it as of late, too. 1-4 record on the year. So here comes now Florida Southern with a rare attack in the offensive zone, immediately taken away by FAU's Littman. To the front of the net, looking for the one-touch pass, and Cotter trying to get in front. And a good shot that time by Cribbs. First one down on his pads, and Cribbs made the stop again. So halfway through, Plant City, Florida native has been terrific. FAU really has come out with an emphasis, and that's something Christian Long talked about. They didn't have too many opportunities to practice during the break, but they did have a scrimmage with a junior team a couple of weeks ago and a couple of scrimmages in the last 2 weeks to get ready for this game. And really, besides last night's tilt against UCF for Florida Southern, they haven't seen action since the middle of November in those wins against Miami. 2-2-0-1 in their last 5 games has been their best mark of the season since they had the tie early in the year against UCF at the same score on September 28th, and then Embry-Riddle back on September 20th. So even though the record says 4-8, 2-2 for this Florida Southern team, they have been playing some really good opponents, and they've been taking them many times to the wire. It's what Nick Nugent calls the next step for this team in their development in Division II. This one's iced by Florida Atlantic, so the McCausins will get a chance now this time to get some forecheck sustained for them, which hasn't seen them win a lot of faceoffs. Really been all FAU controlling the opening marks. And that top line with Owens has been terrific. The only goal of this game right now from Hunter Littman, assisted by Keith Goldberg. Draw taken by FAU. They'll wrap their own boards. Goldberg there with it to bump a man away from the puck. Defender was Chevret. Now through the legs, break in nearly for FAU as both Christian Cotter had a good look at the net. This one's Littman, the only goal scorer. From the blue line in, takes one on net, and Cribbs swallows that to make a good stop. And Cribbs, who played for really a lot of different high school action, played with 4 different high school teams his senior year of high school, with Durant 2 games, River Ridge, Freedom, and finally Jenkins, which Jenkins High School he played the most games with. I'm sure Florida Southern fans would know if those are combined schools or not. Regardless, shot from the point off the shoulder of Cribbs and kicked out to the near half board. This one at the point, swept away. Oliverio goes D-to-D with his starting line partner, and Baser. And once again, back to their own zone as they try to touch up at center, and they ice the puck to each other. So all of a sudden, FAU starting to slow things down after they got off to a really hot start, putting as many as 5 shots on in the first 4 minutes against Cribbs. So Harshaw, Oliverio behind him. And Florida Southern with a much-needed face-off win. They now get it out of the zone, is trying to keep it under himself was Murphy. He had to retreat, though, because he had a defender all over him. Now Makovina with Tove out there, the big defenseman, taken away. Shot on net, went well wide. Gibson trying to defend it back. Shot on net, never got into Cribbs from Stabile. Through the slot, off the legs of a couple of Florida Southern defenders. Now Murphy backtracks. 3-on-2 numbers coming with a man off the bench. Tove skates wide with it, goes behind the net, tries to put it in front. At point blank, shoulder stop by Cribbs. And they had an open man ready to wind up with Baraldi. He never received it. Oliverio now trying to take away the angle. And good work defensively by Murphy to work over Wyden that time off the puck. Colton Wyden in the center. Impressive numbers this year. 11 goals, 5 assists, 16 points for number 21, Florida Southern. And they need the goal scoring if they're going to keep up with FAU, who's putting it on. Biller tried to feed it to Baraldi in the slot and lost his footing. Now Macavina takes it alone at the red line. Deeper for Cabral. Rice over the wing. On the bench, Randall coming in with the top, rather second unit. And Rocket, here comes Biller. Brockett frees it up for Biller. Now a point shot. That one missed wide from Randall. Off the glass, keeps possession of it. They get it deeper into the crease area for a moment. Now freed up again. Biller defended well once more. And Florida Southern does a good job taking away any quality shot opportunity from Biller that time. As we mentioned, Florida Southern really digging deep defensively on their units. Button hooking. Baszler over the red line. Stays onside with Macavina. Cuts from the right wing in. Shot off the backside of Cribbs. Might have hit the outside of the left post. They keep the slot on. Look out. Couldn't keep it onside. Was Tope. Rather Vasiliev. Vasiliev has to backtrack for a moment. Tied up on this left side. Sent across the way there. Owens has it. Looking for a passing option. Defended well by Arts. Through the middle. Up left wing. On the rush. Through the middle. Trying to give it back to Owens, and he got stick tapped away. Marshall is in there for Florida Southern. Here's Cotter now. Right wing. Chance. Takes one on net. Looking for the redirection to Owens. Kicks out to the far corner with Cotter. Circling around. Owens in front. Shot. Score! Brady Baszler. Dandy feed from Owens in front of the net. And FAU breaks through again. It's 2-0. 5:53 to go in the first. Well, you kind of saw that coming with the way FAU got so many good rushes on the forecheck, circling the zone and keeping play alive. And Owens left with too much space, as was Baszler, who looked to be all but just alone in the slot area. Defender kind of gave him a wide angle, and that's all he needed to get it past the shoulder of Jason Cribbs. It's Baszler's 14th goal of the season, 40 points on the season, and Owens, who matches him in top 3 in scoring with 25. Boy, Baszler himself could have been an all-star in Europe with numbers like that. The Fraserville Travers, Pennsylvania native, and quite the story he's had as well. Spent 5 years with the Philadelphia Blazers program. There's another goal. They get it on with Littman. That looks like to be his second with Goldberg, but they're going to wave it off. Boy, shot from the left side in. It seemed to be a high stick for a moment. I was waiting for confirmation. It's a high stick called against Littman on that right corner. You saw them coming in with Goldberg on the net, and it looked to be a surefire in, but got the puck up high. A lucky break for Florida Southern as FAU is buzzing right now, but still out shooting him heavily. And really, Rocco Bruno has not had really any action in that crease to our left. It's all Florida Atlantic. This opener of the second semester, Florida Atlantic with 9 straight victories coming into this one. An impressive mark against, well, some of the best in AAU, and they are ranked number 2 in the country because of that. So Florida Southern really has to dig deep here, keep this lead from going further. But Goldberg tags up, one-touch passes, finds a man in the slot, trying to put it back door for Goldberg was Macavina, and Florida Southern took away the angle in the middle. Now Wool, long stretch pass, trying to connect with his main man, Marshall. 2 goals apiece for both those two last night against UCF. Through the middle, glove down. Here's a shot on net. That's the first test for Bruno off Paul Rigolini's stick, and he made it over the head of Littman, closest to our camera stand. Look out for flying pucks. It's iced by the Owls, so that will give FSU a fresh man on the ice. And Florida Atlantic will have to go back. Tonight's game is brought to you by Rico Intensive and David Nicknass. We'd like to recognize their efforts, and Good Family Canine and Eric Food, some great supporters of FAU hockey. We appreciate all your sponsorship this season, as this Owl group looking to start things off with a bang. And so far they have. The Cautions, however, win the faceoff. It's tied up deeper to the end boards in this left corner. FAU finally breaks it out with Murphy at the legs, and a little premature on the finally. They only had about 15 seconds there. So Murphy with Tobe and Stabile coming off the bench. Harshaw chases it this way, takes the puck away. Marshall lost it for a moment. Stretched it up to Wyden, coming through this left wing. Shouldered by Brickett. Physicality taken over as FAU right back on the attack, trying to center it up for Tobe. He gets there, and what a stop by Cribbs with the left pad. Kicked the skate blade out and saved what looked like a wide open net for a moment for Tove, and what a feed that was by Stabile. It seemed to get an open ice and get it to a dangerous angle. 3:35 to go in this first period. Devin Serra with you. From the Florida IceDen here in Coral Springs, Florida. Shot from the point. Blocked in front by Florida Southern defenseman and Braxton Volpe. There's a shot wide of the net by Rice. That one teed up, trying to go blocker high on Bruno. Now Tove, look at the speed, cutting into the goaltender. Cribbs his way out, and he met him right where he lays. Gave him a bit of a snow wash right there and got the puck open. FAU trying to keep the pressure going. Harshaw up from the point. Here's Brockett. Taken away by Rice for a moment. Harshaw, one-touch shot, and Tove looking for the pass-through on Cribbs, and it once again is defended well. That time, Caden Williams got his shin pad in front. And now Rice, they stay on side. Some fresh changes coming out. FAU has to sustain this defense. And every time Florida Southern gets in the zone and establishes some sort of pressure, they really only can get one shot off before FAU takes away any sign of a rush. Get on their own. So Brockett now has got a lot of ice time in this first period. Heads it for Vasiliev. Whiffing on the shot attempt was Wool. Forces back to center with speed. Leon Biller skates wide, looking for a man in front. He had it for a moment. Teed it up, tried to get it anyway. That was for Randall. And he just missed it under his stick. Rather Thander. Number 91 is in there trying to take the puck away. Stolen from Frommer. Has a lane if he needs it for Biller at that left circle. Skates around the defender. Cuts through the middle. A body carries it out. Dumped, but it's going to be icing against Florida Southern because that was Tryon and Frommer that iced it. A lot of action. We'll have official numbers for you when we resume the second period, but shots have been all FAU. Faceoffs have been all Owls. The Cautions is trying to hold on for dear life right now. They're trying to get Michael Wool and Marshall going, as they have been the formidable goal scoring for this team that has had a tough time lighting the lamp so far. 1:30 to go in the first period. Pinned up on the right side. Thander gets it free for Biller. Tries to cut it out through the middle, caught up to and carried on the button hook. Wall. Here he comes. Michael Wall gets a breakout attempt after the defense got lost. To the net. He scores! Upstairs, shelf on Bruno. And on the rare alone attempt, it's the Darden Prairie product. Gets him on the board. The Cautions get within one. A much needed one, as it was all Florida Atlantic as that period was winding down. Sort of a misplay at the line by FAU. So originally having the puck there was Baraldi and tried to cut it to a man at center ice, and Wool was right there to get the Jets turned on, and to the net he went. So 2-1, FAU still leading this game. But look out, Bruno has to get savvy. First time looked like it never wouldn't have got to him as Murphy was the man in front. Now a fluttering shot comes from the point off Marshall's stick and kicked over the goal mount. That time off the right post. Another attempt in front. Bruno got down with the stop. Glove first. Puck still up for grabs. And FAU somehow gets out of harm's way. Boy, Brandon Peterlin had an opportunity of a lifetime as Bruno was down and out. And Peterlin tried to use his glove instead of the stick to keep that play developing, and I think it's going to lead to a penalty. Or is it? Referee gathers at center. No penalty so far. We haven't had a power play for either side in the first period. It's been all 5-on-5, a very fast-paced game so far. But here's FAU with 20 seconds to go. Shot from the point. That one whistled wide off Makavina's stick. Now Brockett trying to keep it alive. Wool made a nice diving play. It's backhanded deeper for Peterlin, who had that golden opportunity a moment ago. 6 seconds left. FAU just trying to get to the end. Wool tries to get on the puck, and it's ultimately carried out by Goldberg. Shot in from long, and that's going to do it. So Florida Atlantic buzzing in the first 10 minutes. Goals from Hunter Littman and Brady Baser combined would show a heap of shots, a heap of chances, but late in this one, they needed it from their top scorer, Michael Wool, and he got it. It's 2-1 FAU as we hit the second intermission. We'll have the stats for you and more when we come back. You're watching this College Hockey South Division II matchup from the IceDen in Coral Springs here on Owl TV. Back with you in Coral Springs, Florida, from the Florida Panthers Ice Den. 2-1, Florida Atlantic leads over Florida Southern. And some confirmation on your Pit Viper snake name. It's Moccasin. Moccasin. The snake name for the mascot that I was not able to get in the first, admittedly. But I will give where it's due. Not my cleanest work, but you know what? We push on. Otherwise, Florida Southern has a much-needed goal from Michael Wohl. As Florida Southern fans know, he is one of the best in college hockey south. The sophomore out of Darden Prairie, Missouri, with his 18th goal of the season. His 34th point comes, and he's been really good, particularly in the special teams. This Florida Southern team, which leads College Hockey South 9 on the year. But in this game, we haven't had a single penalty. It's been all 5-on-5 somehow, and a really fast pace in the first period that we ended in official time-wise 23 minutes. That's blistering pace. Of course, 20-minute periods. So regardless of which team has the advantage or not, the official shots are 29-10 Florida Atlantic. Now, that looks like a lot on paper, and it is, but goaltender Jason Cribbs has stopped a number of high-quality chances from the likes of Hunter Littman, Keith Goldberg. Caleb Owens has an assist in this game, but he got the second assist on the second goal with Brady Baser, which extended to a 2-0 advantage with about 7 minutes to go in the period. And that's been basically the production for FAU, has been the relentless forecheck of their first top two lines with the likes of their captain Leon Biller, who set up plays all game long. Matt Baraldi has gotten involved along with Daniel Tove. And had it not been for Jason Cribbs and a couple of defenders which have been terrific, the likes of Bradley Pitterland and Will Marshall, this score could be a lot more. And we talked about in the pregame, Florida Southern coming off probably their best run of the season. If you date back to the end of the first semester, going 2-2-0-1 in their last 5 games with that sweep of the Miami Hurricanes and 4-3 and 8-5 bouts. And the tie last night against UCF really is off the backs of Simonian, who had 67 saves on 71 shots. And the fact that Will Marshall and Michael Wohl got so involved in that game with all 4 of them. So when you look at this Florida Southern team, you see how they're getting outshot, but you don't notice that they're unstructured or they've played bad. It's just FAU has been able to spring together a rotation of forward groups that have really made it tough for the Mocs to get out of their own zone. They've been able to sustain that forecheck, and Florida Southern really has got to find a way to gain possession of this puck for longer and make life tougher on Rocco Bruno, who's only had to make a couple of point-blank saves at the end of that period particularly, and Michael Wohl, who went top shelf on that breakaway goal. As you see the Mocs come back on the ice in their red and blue uniforms with the little bit of fade between the red and blue going. I will say it's a nice uni made by the fine folks over at Verbero, who do a lot for College Hockey South and athletics. And along with them, we'd like to thank all of our sponsors here on Owl TV, Goldie's Gang and Steve Goldstein, for all of their help and recognition of FAU hockey. Of course, Steve Goldstein, the Florida Panthers longtime play-by-play announcer, and how good it must have felt for him and that squad to win the Stanley Cup just a couple of months ago. And Florida Panthers trying to go back-to-back. They've got a chance to make their 3rd straight Stanley Cup this year. They're on their way. FAU Hockey is also brought to you by Tracy.net and Darren Gull. Thank you for all the support. Union Auto Body, Dan and Terry Balsamo, and the Boca Ice Arena, which the 2 teams on the ice will play at tomorrow night, along with Division III FAU, who's in a bout with Lynn University tonight. No score update you right there. Rico Intensive and David Nicknaps and Good Family K9 and Eric Good. Thanks to all of you for your support of FAU, which still has not come out of their locker room back to the ice. Florida Southern and assistant coach Nick Nugent are wondering where the heck is the team in white and blue. So Christian Long taking a little more extensive time, and because of the odd scenario we have on this rink, normally Florida Atlantic, when they're playing in the IceDen, is on the main rink, which is opposite of this sheet. There's 3 sheets here at the IceDen. This is number 3. They would be on number 1. But an issue with the ice conditions forced them to last minute switch over to this ice, as now Rocco Bruno leads out the Owls on the left side of your screen, rather main part of your screen now. But because of those tragic ice conditions, they had to move over here last minute. Not a bad ice sheet here on number 3. It's just a lot of players aren't used to it. Certainly our broadcast team isn't used to it, as we're stationed right on top of the ice between both the benches. Christian Long, Nick Nugent's squads, both FAU to our left, Florida Southern to our right. But an important period coming up, as Florida Southern outshot 29-10 in that period. They've got to find a way to get their top group going and get some support there for Will Marshall and Michael Wohl, who have been terrific. They have talent with the likes of Paul Rigolini, who has 9 points on the year. They've had a lot of help as well from Colton Wyden, who's got 16. And don't get me wrong, this is a team that certainly has the ability with those top group to put it in the net. They just have had a couple of bad bounces. They've relied on a lot of good goaltending this year. And, well, put it blankly, they've really struggled to keep power play goals against them. 28 on the year, and that is more than double what Florida Atlantic has, and ranks top 3 in power play goals against in College Hockey South. So now we switch ends of the ice. FAU goes right to left, Florida Southern left to right, as all of FAU gets to the bench. Officials and us have been waiting for this delay. We get underway with the second half of this hockey contest, and the first touch goes to FAU deep into the Mocs zone behind the net, trying to free it up. Caleb Owens looking for a goal. He's got an assist on the second one from Brady Baser in this contest. Gloves it down out of midair. One-timer from the high slot, rather from the right point. Another try, this time on Scribbs. He's down on his pads, and Cribbs gets it underneath the right leg from an onslaught that came. First shot from the right circle in. The rebound kicks out, and FAU and Baser, along with Owens and DJ Randall, are all over the Mocs netminder. So Florida Southern wins the face-off back. Will Marshall tries to wrap it around. Shot from the point. Banks off. First, second stops. That time by Cribbs. You heard it bank off the right point. And that one made sure that it stayed out. So Murphy now, look out. Another rush the other way. Murphy trying to get on net. Centers it up. Caleb Owens is running on the back door. Too far away from him. Leads to a breakout. Shot on net from Bruno, and he makes the stop on Rigolini, who had the alone attempt charging into the net. And boy, that is just the hallmark of FAU this season, being able to put up one quality chance, make the goaltender move, and then if you get that juicy rebound, it opens up second and third chance opportunities to get around Cribbs. That had been tough. Now sitting at 30-plus saves in this game, the junior of Plant City, Florida. That one from the point, shot on Tryon, trying to get in there with Wicks. Now he has it again. Shot blocked off the backside of Goldberg, getting in the lane. Now a tough angle shot from Rice. This one kicks off the left pad of Bruno. Goldberg coming in with the Cotter stretch pass. Now gets onside with Littman to the net. Hard. Cribbs for a moment was down. Taken out of the play was Littman. A rush the other way for the Mocs. Comes from Colton Wyden. Wyden trying to get through with Rice there for help on the right wing. Now gets the shot on. Saved by Bruno. Williams is there to reclaim it. 1-on-1. Goldberg wins that battle over. Cotter. And FAU once again breaks out. And if they hurry, they would have had a 3-on-2. Cotter now. Defended up the right wing. Gets one to the middle of the ice. Sticked away by Rice. Never got through. A shot comes. And that one from a tough angle stopped by Cribbs. Emilio Stabile out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Trying to make life tough. And they have. Tove was ready in the slot. Saucer through the air. Never got to his blade. Stabile up to the point. They'll go D to D. Here's Brockett. He's defended well by Rice. This one went into the air. Stays in play. Pinned up on this left side for just a moment. Now freed up to the opposite point. Shot comes from Cribbs and got it on. Right pad kicked out to the half wall. And Florida Southern gets it out of the zone for just a moment. Already reclaimed, and it works like this. Here's Harshaw with a lane, takes one, and a glove stop. Flashing the leather was Jason Cribbs. Oh boy, you got a lone chance when Florida Southern right there. All they're trying to do is just send it the length of the ice. Hope you don't ice it too, or rather get the icing at all. If you can get a man at the red line, and it leads to the turnover, and Harshaw has a golden opportunity from left wing in. And boy, Cribbs, he's got a nice setup there with those brown pads. The white helmets, it's a look. FAU now in front of the net, trying to nearly wrap it around that time. I thought was going to be DJ Randall. To the net once more, missed it wide. Half wall, through the middle. Stabile through the blue paint, and for a moment, Cribbs was down. No Owl could get to it first. They stay on side. Now Tove, the big body, frees it up on this left wing to the front of the net. Backed off the skate of Gibson. Hard hit at the far half wall. Now a shot in from Stabile, once more stopped by Cribbs. Vasiliev tries to stay on side, pays the price. Here's the captain, Biller, skates wide with it. Defended by Cole Dubois. Shot comes from Cribbs. Got it on. At the point, slapped along. FAU once again sustaining zone time. They've been in here for over a minute. Stabile cycles it through the middle, trying to free it up for Biller, who's ready in the slot and taken away. Nice job by Wayne Arts to free up space, and he'll saucer it. And Florida Southern will get a much-needed change. Off comes Dubois, on comes Rigolini, and FAU is offside. That allows a much-needed change for the Mocs. And assistant coach Nick Nugent just urging his guys with the hands, saying, come on, cycle it up so they can get off the ice. It's been a calm, cool, and collected FAU side, as Christian Long really hasn't had to drop too many plays for these guys. It's been a fast-paced game so far. We still are without a penalty on either side. Letting them play, as they say. And Thander saying, my bad. Slammed it into his own bench, and officials give him benefit of the doubt. 16:05 to go in the second period, and tomorrow this series continues on from Boca Ice Center, as we mentioned in the sponsor read. Division II opener to their second semester rolls on against Florida Southern. Coverage begins at 5 p.m. Eastern puck drop. You can catch that one on Owl TV. Do not believe we have a call announcer for you yet, but we'll update you if we find that out later. So trying to find a lane is Peterlin, who had that golden opportunity at the end of the first period. No chance comes. It's FAU back on the attack. Matt Baraldi is the first man to it. Rims it around the end boards. Caught up to, stopped by Oliverio. Finds a lane on Cribbs. Slapper from the high slot area. Whistles over the net. That was a long blast from Murphy. Now a tie-up. Just trying to shovel it along the end boards is Wool. FAU gets there with their fast pace. Biller off of his shoulder blade. Flew off the glass for a moment. Caught up to by Thander. Defended well from Dillman. And a tired Rigolini just realizes it's going to be iced. And, oh, man, trying to get back there. Good effort that time by Bradley Peterlin to make some effort and try and beat out the two FAU forwards there, and Murphy and Oliverio. But no such luck. It's another icing. And really, Florida Southern has not been able to sustain a forecheck to start this period. They had a couple of shots on Bruno in the first minute. That was all. And Florida Atlantic has done a good job hemming the zone a lot of times. The Mocs and Jason Cribbs still coming up big. So Marshall negates the center play from Macavina. Baser is there. We get a stoppage of play. Looking for a motion of a high stick, didn't catch it. 14:46 to go in the second period. Wholesale changes for the Mocs. They'll bring on Frommer, Volpe, Dubois. And for this third line group for the Mocs, they have been a little shorthanded with a couple of players out of this lineup that we didn't even get to. TJ Tillman, number 6, out for the night. Zachary Kensler And John Burkhart, number 20, sustained that disqualification against UCF, so he's out. So you're down to roughly a 3.5 line group here for Florida Southern. And a lot of their scoring we talked about coming from the top unit, but second and third lines really kind of out there to keep the pressure off of Cribbs as much as they can, because FAU has not missed a beat. They win the faceoff draw. Baser tried to whistle one on net. He has one goal in this game. That one got knocked down by Thomas Cabral. The center. And Florida Southern helps themselves get out of the zone for just a moment. Dubois with a nice play up the far wing. Steals the puck away, takes a shot on net for Bruno, who just easily gloved that one. And Bruno, not the biggest guy in the world, Springfield, Pennsylvania, but he has been terrific and really a lightning in a bottle player. Head coach Christian Long had a lot to say about him, and so did the Florida Atlantic press. This is a shot on net from Bruno. Look how that one nearly got in from the crease area, and now they say it's in. Kicked in front a couple of times, and it might have gone off the legs of Marshall. If this counts, it's a goal for Will Marshall, and Florida Southern has tied this thing up. Face-off draw, pushed hard to the net by Marshall, who took it in. And Bruno was down for a moment. This puck for a second stayed out and then somehow flooded in from the right side. So it's a tie game. 13:45 to go in the second. Florida Southern, who's been basically playing the entire game in their own zone, has a little bit of life. Rigolini now skates wide, takes one on Bruno, sticks that aside. A tie deuce game here as Cotter, Goldberg, the scoring group that's been so productive for FAU, is out there now. But you can see it. Florida Southern's got the jump. Here's a chance from the point in. Tryon trying to work the wall. And just gotten out of the zone. Quickly moved away. Christian Cotter did a nice job to get it out of harm's way. Negated the icing because of the tip at the red line. So, and this one might be iced this time now by the Mocs, and it will be. An unfortunate break after I just mentioned Florida Southern had a little bit of jump to their step. So if this counts, it is Marshall's 22nd of the year. And just like yesterday, Wool and Marshall account for the only goals so far, that is. Where for Florida Atlantic, it's Baser and Lithman, and a couple of times we've looked at Caleb Owens to be a scorer, but getting badly outshot. It's almost that 20 plus. The Mocs have evened it up. Here's Harshaw. Sent along by Murphy. Tried to connect with Daniel Tove. Sophomore couldn't find it under his legs. Now fights for it at this center ice, closest to our broadcast stand. Oliverio, nice stretch past the opposite wing. Stabile trying to connect with Tove a second time. He does. They stay on side. Murphy comes in for the rush, trying to get it ready for the center. Stabile was calling for it. Now he has it. Up back to Marshall at the top of the left wing. And we have a whistle as there is a player down in front of the Florida Southern net. Their own player, that being Gavin Tryon. And could this be now for a infraction? We haven't seen one yet in this game. It's been fast-paced ever since the start. And, yep, we've got our first one of the night. It's on FAU. Daniel Tove. 2 minutes for interference. So Brockett kind of, pleading his case a little bit there. I didn't catch the play as it was to the left. I was watching Marshall try and Tove try to collect this puck up the left side, and he went to the net. They got him for the infraction, so it's going to be the first penalty of the night, first opportunity, and a much-needed one for Florida Southern. And here is the man, Marshall. First power play, Frommer. At the top of the left wing, back to Marshall. Finds a lane, gives it back. Left circle chance, and that's set away by Bruno. Stayed strong to the right post. The Mocs with 10 power play goals this season. Marshall skates wide behind the net, trying to get it up in front for Rigolini. Too far away from him. Back to chase it is Wool. Way out of the net is Cribbs to hand it to him. Trying to hound defensively was Aiden Georgiano, the sophomore from the Division III squad. Spinorama, Rigolini gives it to Wyden. Nearly worked over by Brockett. Gets it back now. He'll go to the opposite wing. Look for Marshall. Stops. Nice stick deflection away by Harshaw. And he's in all alone as Cribbs finds an open man in Wyden. Glove down by Wool. Now Wyden looks to get back on side. He does. Wyden skates wide. Puts it up in front. Nobody home except FAU defenders. Volpe gets it deeper. Wool with a goal tonight. Gets it to the middle for Rigolini. We have a stoppage of play as the net came off its moorings, the right post. Only the second time we've seen that in this contest. 36 to go in the minor penalty on Tove. And Florida Southern has had a lot of movement, not a ton of shots on Bruno in this power play as the top power play unit comes off the ice now. Captain Wool with Marshall. Second unit they send out. Taking it was Wayne Arts, and he lost it. FAU is out of the zone all the way out. Cribbs thinks about playing it. He will. Banks it off the half boards. Littman is there with a tight chance in front of the net. Harshaw got it one time. Cribbs off the right post, and they can't believe it. Oh my goodness, what a play. Cribbs made the diving play that time on Harshaw, who looked like he had a golden cage to look at. And Cribbs, once again, he has been terrific in this game. 30-plus saves already, and he just bailed out. Short-handed FAU coming at it. Off the shin pad, feeling it for a moment is Caden Williams. See him grinning for just a moment. He's holding his right leg as he's trying to skate through the center. As this power play will end in 5 seconds. Trying to do something about it for the moment is Frommer, and he gets it taken away. So there you have it. 0 for 1, go the Mocs. Williams over the blue line. Rice kicks it off the skate, and they are offside. They're going to call it against Arts. Unfortunate break. And staying alive, as they say, like the Bee Gees. 10:04 to go in this second period. It's been really a tale of strong goaltending and at times defensive play from Florida Southern, as FAU has been flying Biller like they are right now back into the zone, sustaining the pressure. Georgiano is there with him, takes the one-time with Murphy. Wool got it off his skate blade. Kick to the half boards. Now at the trapezoid area is Thander, trying to free it up against Marshall. They keep it on side. Shot from Cribbs, second opportunity, and Thander couldn't put it home. Cribbs 1 and 2 miraculous stops. He's approaching 40-plus now. Rigolini skates alone, takes one to the net, sailed it high on the right corner. Georgiano backs up. Thander, 2-on-1. FAU gets numbers to it. Marshall, however, at center, is able to reclaim possession. Volpe will just dump and chase. Try and make life tougher on Tove. Or rather, Oliverio. Saucer it up to Wool. He'll get it to Rigolini through the defense. FAU's Jake Murphy was there. Now Oliverio frees up some ice. Volpe, however, keeps it on in the zone. Takes the shot on net, looking for the redirection. And an FAU's Murphy's there against Rigolini. Shoulders him off the puck. They fight for it behind the net. Trying to rim it up the board and stay on side is Volpe. He does. Great job by the defenseman. Now through the middle. Wool trying to find a lane, and 3 FAU defenders take it away. Caleb Owens with Murphy coming. Behind him, Baser saucers it on. Marshall trying to slapstick it around the boards. Will not get it out. Here comes Murphy now with Baser up this left side. Thander comes in to help. Brockett on the ice as Florida Southern gets out. It comes all the way down. Will it be icing? It is. So another face-off draw will come into Florida Southern zone. And really the difference hasn't been just possession time, but you can see how besides the 2-minute onslaught that FAU had at the start of this period, that the Mocs have done a better job distributing the puck, spreading out FAU's defenders, and not making themselves as one-dimensional as they were in that first. And FAU, don't get me wrong, they've had their chances, but right now they're doing a good job defensively. Here's a block in front of Cribbs, and like that, sacrificing the body. That time was Thomas Cabral. With speed, flying, trying to get through the defense. Is Baser with a goal tonight, has Randall up the middle. Backhands it for looking for Owens. Slap shot from the point, up for grabs and gloved down by Cribbs as he had Owens breathing on his neck. And Volpe, rather, that's Marshall taking exception to the extra whack at Cribbs. He's going to grab his arm. And now the officials will separate them as the Mocs assistant coach, Nick Nugent, to our right, not happy with how late that whistle was, he's arguing, saying that Cribbs had that puck earlier. 7:36 to go in this second period. It is a 2-2 contest off the backs of who else? So there's a save. Cribbs, first time through the slot area as it's dumped out finally by the Mocs and touched it by Vasiliev. But Will Marshall and Michael Wool, we mentioned, 36 points, nearly apiece, as Wool has 35 on the year, unofficially, obviously. Marshall with now 37. And two guys that badly need to step up. So we got a stoppage of play. Arms go in the air, and it's going to be a penalty coming up for cross-checking against the Mocs. Tough penalty to take for Marshall, who was just making a play along the left side of the ice. And with that, big opportunity now. You mentioned Florida Southern having that one power play chance, but not getting too many shots on Rocco Bruno now. FAU with an opportunity to get the lead back. Led by two, conceded the last two. And the first defensive play is made by Wool. All over with Rigolini. So this top group is also the top penalty kill group. Top line, that is. Littman crosses ice to the captain. Biller can't get onside. Once again, sticked away by Wool. Played against the penalty box area outside the rest circle, and there is a mock down. Hard on the ice. Boy, from behind, that was a tough hit that Wool just took against Cotter. Just kind of a bang-bang trying to fight for the puck underneath. There's going to be no infraction for it, just slowly getting Wool to his feet. And a conversation being had with DJ Randall. So the turnaround is dumped by Florida Southern. And you may notice as well, Florida Atlantic without some of their firepower as well on this side. David Israel, the longtime veteran, senior of this FAU squad, out tonight of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. But here comes Baser with a goal tonight. Nifty moves. Gets it up to Murphy at the point. Defended well by Wool. Now a stick through the middle of the ice. Off the wall. Randall waits for it. Shot from the point off Miller. Second try by Randall. Doesn't get through as he decks the man to the ice, but doesn't get the shot off. So another nice defensive stand by the first penalty kill group. Allows them to make some changes. 40 seconds to go. And FAU's first man advantage. Murphy, onside, dumps it in. Randall to chase after it. Baraldi up to Murphy. Looks for his options now. He's got Randall in the middle. He'll saucer it up this left side with Baser. Crosses field. to the top of the right circle. Owens waiting for the golden opportunity. 12 seconds to go in the power play. Murphy with Beraldi cuts to the middle. Shot on net. Krebs first save. Second try on the ice, and Owens couldn't squeak it by. Now Murphy gets it back to Beraldi. Power play is over, but they keep the forecheck on. Out of the box is Marshall to give some much-needed defense. Murphy wanted Owens at the right circle, and he's chopped down in the lane by Van Horn. Gives it up for Beraldi. Still this power play unit to say, still out there. And now Marshall, the speedster, has it, and he can fly. He's got a man with Wyden on the left side. Wyden is offside, and that is it for Marshall's skating chance. Well, you saw how long that FAU group was out there. You think about Marshall fresh out of the box. Maybe he has the speed and really the stamina to make a move to the net, but he doesn't get the opportunity. So 4:41 to go in the second period. Both teams are 0 for 1 on the man advantage, but still FAU is badly outshooting Florida Southern in this one. 2-2. Both goals, the latest goals, from Wool and Marshall. The only goal of this period is from Marshall. It came out of the box. FAU trying to reclaim it in their own zone. Forwarded by Tove. Up the right wing, trying to go backdoor, and nearly getting a chance was Makavina. Thought he got tripped up on the play. Didn't. No call. Look out. Stick goes flying into the FSU bench. Stabile knocks him in down to the ice. Tove, back shot, score! Justin Harshaw breaks the tilt. 3-2 FAU. The relentless forecheck pays off as Harshaw has his second of the year. The Davie, Florida sophomore product of Post University. NCAA transfer made his mark. 3-2, FAU regains the lead on what really should have been a couple in this period for them with how lopsided the shot total is. So Stabile and Tove get the assists on that goal for Harshaw. And FAU reclaims the lead, not without FSU trying to answer, though. He knocked down in front of the slot area was Colton Wyden. Thought about for a moment. And FSU is going to get a power play, it seems, as Marshall got the intended man. They're going to get him for a slash. So 2 minutes on the board. And that's Leon Biller, the captain for Florida Atlantic, going to the box. Florida Southern showed some resilience at the end of that first period, scoring from Wool. And now they've got another opportunity. Cribbs way out of the net to play it. Forwards it along for Wool. First man gets away. Shorthanded comes in FAU. Cribbs swallows with no rebound off of Littman, who also has a goal in this game. And really, when you think about the Florida Atlantic rush chances they've had, they really only got a couple of those odd man chances earlier in the game where FSU really just didn't have their legs under them, it seemed at first. The first 5 minutes, it was all Florida Atlantic, and then all of a sudden they kind of woke up, and that goal at the end sparked it. Here's a nice chance for a man in tight. Rigolini at the point. Tries to get it to Marshall. Back down low for his captain, Wool. Marshall will dance at the point. Opposite end. Some nifty passing through the slot. FAU takes the angle away. Good job by Murphy. And he'll skate it alone up this left wing with speed, short-handed, trying to cut in front of the net. Taken away on the angle by Marshall. Harshaw is there, the most recent goal scorer. A little bit of a fitness pacer test there by Murphy, skating alone with it. Look at all of this time. They're just going for a lap with it here. And not even allowing Florida Southern any chance of touching this puck. Makavina is there. Florida Southern now will look to keep it on, but they're getting aggressive, and look out. It's a 2-on-1 for the Owls. Dander has it, goes cross ice, and two's far away. Makavina couldn't handle the saucer. Leads to the breakout. Now here comes Florida Southern odd man. Shot to the net, backhanded, and Bruno first stop, second try, turns around. Another stop by Bruno on his legs. Bruno gets it from right to left, turns around, and makes a miraculous stop on the Florida Southern power play. Marshall with an open lane to the wide net. Can't get it on. A shot from the point from Peterlin gets wide. Redirected, and out of the box is Biller. Still on the attack is Florida Southern. They try to get it through the middle of the ice, and it's wide to the left post. Thander is there. A tired FAU group looking to get it forwarded on and get some changes. Their odd man rush. Biller is in alone to the net. Stopped by Scribbs on another golden opportunity, and Biller broke his stick in half over his knee. Didn't mean to. It was already broken before that. Oh my goodness, what a last minute and a half. Florida Southern comes down the ice, and Rocco Bruno has to make his biggest stops of the game. Now Cribbs comes the other way. All alone is Biller. He comes up big. What an end to the second. And it's still going. Cotter to the net. Shot up for grabs in the slot. Where is the puck? Biller's down. Rather Cribbs. And finally gloved down by Littman, who was in there. And Cribbs, and I say Littman because he poked his stick deeper that forced Cribbs to fall on his back, sort of old school style. And had it not been for the mangle of bodies in front, that one would have been an open shot for Littman. Now off the stick of Cotter one more time. A shot, scores on the putback. After all the calamity, it's Christian Cotter on the rebound, and Florida Atlantic is in control, 4-2. Just a flurry of broken plays. They get this shot from the high slot. It's Cotter who's trying to bang on the left pad. Cribbs has to sprawl out and fall into his pads like he did on that first save on the rebound chances, and it finally sweeps through, and FAU, they're buzzing. 24 to go in the period. Littman stays on side with Cotter coming. Murphy is there trying to wing it around. Littman. Oliviardi kept it in for just a moment. 10 seconds to go. Now Florida Southern is out. Just skied at the red line by Goldberg. FAU trying to get to the end of this. The lone man to defend it, and paying the price, Caleb Van Horn gets decked. But he dumps the puck away, and that is all. Calamity last 3 minutes that sees both sides with their opportunities. But it's FAU that capitalizes on the rebound on Christian Cotter. Before that, Justin Harshaw on a great shot from the left wing, and that's where we sit. 4-2, final 20 coming up. And if it's anything like the first 40, boy, this one's going to keep being entertaining. 4-2 as we hit the break. Second intermission report from Florida IceDen. 40 minutes are in the books from the Florida Panthers IceDen here in Coral Springs, Florida. 4-2 the lead for the Florida Atlantic Owls over Florida Southern. The Mocs have given them quite a flurry in that second with a late goal in the first from Michael Wool, then followed up by Will Marshall, their two top scorers. But in the end, it's FAU with a late surge off the hands of Justin Harshaw and Christian Cotter, number 10 and 11 respectively, provide a much-needed advantage after FAU officially outshoots FSU. Get ready for this, folks. 56-16, the unofficial mark by our scoring stand at the end of play, which means that Florida Southern netminder Jason Cribbs, not Vincent Simeonian, by the way, who had a wonderful performance yesterday, has stopped 52 on 56 shots tonight. And obviously those 4 goals from 4 different Owls have been the difference. Devin Serra with you ringside, our producer Mitch at my left, and our unique vantage point here underneath the camera positions on this stanchion between the benches. And one great story from this week, last week, that highlights a already highly touted number 2 FAU team is the stories about Rocco Bruno and Caleb Owens, 2 of the Owls named to the College Hockey South All-Europe team, both former All-Stars in College Hockey South. And a great write-up on upressonline.com, the story by Rain Welser for University Press. You can go check it out there. But basically, paraphrasing, Rocco Bruno has been a true leader, basically a captain if he wasn't a goaltender, because goaltenders can't wear the captain. They can't talk to the officials in the referee stand about penalties. But basically his story playing lacrosse and baseball growing up, he was a touted young goaltender player, started a little bit around a later age in 12, and they said his team didn't have a goalie, so he subbed in. And ever since that moment has taken the role, he came to the realization pretty quick that it was for him, and because of some scheduling and timing issues, well, became a full-time goaltender and played in the Quebec International Pee Wee Tournament. And if you know hockey, some of the most prestigious players, many of them in the NHL, have been in that tournament for the under-12 groups. A great story, and you can read his and Caleb Owens, who didn't start really playing hockey seriously until the age of 10. Both of those by Rain Welser on upressonline.com. Go check it out. A great story by this FAU group, and a great job all around by a operations staff led by Kendall Rickard that highlights every FAU home game for D2 and D3 tonight, and the Division III side against Lynn University having a pretty tough go of it, a 6-5 win for the Lynn University team over Division III, and now 2 straight losses, or 3 straight rather. They dropped their semester opening series to Florida State with a very talented group, the Seminoles, coming all the way from Tallahassee, that plays in Jacksonville. Here's Florida Southern, scores! Who else? Marshall, off the hop, 30 seconds into the period, has cut the deficit to 1. Just a bullet from the slot that beats Bruno. Low glove side between the pad, right off the face-off draw. Marshall gets some open space. That's a guy you don't want to leave with it. And Marshall now with 4 goals in his last 2 games, leading the way. The center out of Webster Groves, Missouri. Spent time in the AAA with St. Louis Blues program. Spent time in the NAW with Odessa. And after some time in a military academy for a couple years, finds himself as one of the most productive Florida Southern players they've seen in their program's history. They're right back in it. A minute into the period, they strike. Now forwarding it deeper to the zone. It's Colton Wyden. He gets worked off the puck. Hunter Littman steals it. He's got Goldberg right there. The shot comes blocked off the right side of the skate blade by a defending Mock. The goaltender Cribbs posts up trying to find an open lane. They shoot this one, and a glove stop smothered handily by Cribbs. And to the applause of this FSU bench, and I mentioned at the break the shot difference unofficially at the end of the second, 56-16. You just don't see a shot total like that when it's this close of a game, but you have some impressive goaltending. You have some individual efforts from Will Marshall and Michael Wohl, your top two scorers, and all of a sudden you find yourselves in a game with the number 2 team in the country. A nice tip that time by, honestly, I thought it was a Florida Southern defender, and Ertz played up into the air. Harshaw, puck flurries to an open area where Rice would just backhand it, trying to center down for penalty. He might regret that decision as Harshaw gets worked over down to the ice, and there's going to be a call. Rice took him down on this near board, and a penalty coming up to the Mocs. So here we go again. Still no power play for the Mocs in this game, but it's their third opportunity of the night. I stand corrected. Florida Atlantic's opportunity after the penalty to Rice. So Florida Atlantic down by 1. A shot from the circles deeper in by Randall. Stopped by Cribbs on the right pad. It flurries all the way to the opposite end. Interference, the call officially, as Murphy tries to get out of his own zone. Wall hammers him to the boards. Gets it to his opposite D-man. A race ensues for it in front of the FAU bench. Deeper to the zone. Here's Baraldi. Cuts it in. Cycles the end boards. Bounces off the half wall into a Florida Southern grasp. Rigolini cutting to the net. Marshall looking for the hat trick. First shot, second try. It's behind Bruno, and it's in! Marshall with the hat trick ties it up. Bruno had it the initial stop, and then a second opportunity off the rebound. Marshall cashes in, and Florida Southern can't stop Will Marshall. A tie game, 4-4. How about these Mocs? Resilient as effort. Chapeau to Will Marshall. And Florida Atlantic, we talked about coming in with a great power play. Well, Florida Southern has one of the best shorthanded groups in the country. That's now their 10th shorthanded goal of the season, the most by a lot in college hockey South. And 56 to go, still in the penalty to Rice. FSU was going to sky it out of the zone. Rigolini to chase Cotter. Now all of a sudden, some long faces on this FAU bench that looked like they had this game in control, and 2 quick strikes in the first 3 minutes from Will Marshall. FAU, though, still has the man advantage. The captain, Leon Biller, gives it up to Oliverio. Swings the point with Cotter. He'll button hook. Looks for his options. Cotter. Try to connect the seam pass through the center for Littman. Now is a lane. Takes it. Stopped by Cribbs on the right side. Biller up the half wall. Cotter to play it. There for Randall. Seam pass in front. And nearly having the one-timer was Cotter. He missed it. 7 seconds to go in the power play. One last opportunity. Biller rang it off the iron. And Biller now still in with the attack. Half-board waits. Cribbs, first chance. The second try of the shot nearly got on from Goldberg, and he missed the putback. Out of the box is Rice. 0 for 3 is Florida Atlantic. All of a sudden, a ton of jump right now, and this one is a tight one. Devin Serra with you ringside. Florida Atlantic and Florida Southern, which are separated by about 2.5 hours or so. Florida Southern out of Lakeland Ice Arena in deeper southern Florida, playing a team that is coming off 9 straight victories, dating all the way back to September in the Battle at Beach champions. Taking it right now. Makovina from the point, blocked in front, the putback chance, and Stabile couldn't get it on net. Settled down at center by the alternate captain Brockett. forwards it ahead. Cribbs in and out of his glove. He's going to sprawl out of the net to get the whistle. As clock still running, they haven't stopped it yet. It's ticking down. It stopped at 15:09, but they haven't stopped the clock. Trying to reset it is the PA team on the far side. Let's see what they set it at. They ticked off a solid 9 or 10 seconds before finally stopping it, and FAU's bench is upset because they still haven't reset the clock. So it says 15 minutes, wasted about 9 seconds. There's a shot from the point. Cribbs way out of the net to make the stop with a blocker. Rigolini at the red line. Keeps it onside. Wants to push it deeper to the zone. First man out is Wool. He had the opening goal for the Mocs. Now skating tight. Stabile trying to cut to the middle. He takes one on net. Blocked first time. The putback. Down on the ice. Is it in the net? Sprawling over. An FAU forward and Cotter decked to the ice, and Cribbs made the stop. And I stand corrected. That was Nick Oliverio getting in the face of Cribbs. Jammed away at it 3 times before the net got pushed way out to the end board. And a tired second group for FAU comes off the ice. The top line stays back out there with Florida Southern's group. Michael Wool, Williams, trying to get their personnel out there. Rigolini now. And Rigolini will dig in inside his own zone. DJ Randall, 14:38 to go in this third period. FAU boasts one of the most prominent attacks in the country. A plus 43 goal differential coming in. That's best for third in the CHS. And they need it now more than ever in this opening slate of their second semester. This is the second of third for Florida Southern this weekend. Tied UCF 4-4 last night in an important game considering Central Florida is 1 spot below FAU at 4th in the College Hockey South. Cribbs sticked away to the corner. It's played along. Randall looking for help coming with Owens. Falls to the ice. He's got someone else's stick in his hands. That's Marshall's. Has no glove, no stick rather. Down on the ice is Cribbs. Shot, a blast from the point. Doesn't get through. Huge block in front of the net. Down on the ice was Williams for a moment. Now frees up to the end board. Owens chases it. Open room to finally skate it out is Rigolini. He'll cut to the middle of the ice as 2 players collide closest to us. Bruno, look out. A lot of lumber laid wide. And FAU gets quickly on the rush the other way. Baser hard to the net. Nice move. Couldn't get the shot on. Cribbs might have poked it away. 2 Florida Southern defenders in there. Williams is there. Dubois trying to help out. One-timer. Scores! Jake Murphy gets the Owls back to the lead. 5-4. You can call that one a clap bomb from deep in the left circle. Winds up past the shoulder of Cribbs, who we've touted all game long as really bailing out Florida Southern's defense when they've been behind. That was some sustained pressure that pays off for FAU. And Murphy's first goal of the night. 5 different goals from each individual. They're looking for more. Biller gets one through underneath the legs of Cribbs, and it went wide of the left post. Oh my goodness, FAU just keeping the hound dog on. Baraldi is there trying to work over Gibson. Or rather Chevrette. And button hooking, trying to get the troops aligned is Murphy with the goal, most recent. Cuts inside of the net, missed it wide. Played off the glass at center. Oliverio evades one defender, stays onside with Baraldi. Dubois hounds him, shot from Cribbs. Easily stopped, and it's sent the length of the ice off the boards. And icing is called against Dubois. Back to their own zone goes Florida Southern, and really that's been the response by FAU all night long. You allowed 2 quick goals off the hat trick on Will Marshall within the first 3 minutes of this period, and then Jake Murphy bails him out. Time of the goal officially 6:40 of the third period. But what an entertaining bout this has been. Once again, it's the two allegiance of Michael Wool and Will Marshall that get it done for Florida Southern on multiple occasions, but they're going to have to do it again. 12:08 to go in the third period. Here's Christian Cotter. At the point, whistles with Oliverio, stick down by Goldberg. Looking for the redirection. Oliverio keeps the pressure on. Buttoning back is Rigolini. Help coming now with Van Horn. Couldn't get it out. Up at the point, shot redirected one time by Lithman. Gets to his knees. Cribbs is down and out. Thinking about taking the shot on was Murphy. He'll cut wide. Gets past one defense. Cycles around. Wants the middle. It goes to the top of the right circle where it's Rigolini. Gets by one defender. Rather gets taken down. Trying to get a hit through Rice and set up by Wool. Rice and Wool together up this left wing. Shot from a sharp angle, and it's sticked away by Lithman as Bruno let up a juicy rebound. And nearly a first man there was Michael Wool. And Nick Nugent on this Florida Southern side is furious because he argues that Bruno got an early whistle. 11:12 now is the time on the clock. And Marshall's going to have a conversation with official on this crew. Bottom of the left wing. Florida Atlantic, another face-off win. And said at the top of the broadcast how important it was for them to win those draws. Well, they've won the majority of them, that's for sure. But Florida Southern's done a good job managing that gap as best they can. Ryan Brockett backhands it out of his own zone. Headed forward, Owen alone. A chance! Cribbs made the stop. Stabile trying to make a dandy move around two defenders. The Montreal, Quebec, Canada product. An alumni of Loyola High School and Florida Alliance AAA. He's been around the ranks for a while. Couldn't get his 7th. And what a job it's been, again, by Jason Cribbs. Now officially sitting at 60-plus saves on the night in this 5-4 bout. Imagine what a journey he kind of had getting into Florida Southern. Last year played in 21 games, had a 3.15 goals against average, .875. Majority of those. Before that, he played with 4 different high school teams his senior year of high school, according to these records. And a guy that has some nice pads with those brown leathers, a little bit old school. He's had to flash him a lot. The Owls keep the pressure on, trying to come away with their 10th straight. Tove, left pad save, the rebound. Another stop by Cribbs. Justin Harshaw trying to give Brockett a little assistance. And Makavina chased to his own zone. Wool is there. Backhanded out of the trapezoid by Brockett. Sky through the air. Wolf gloves it down, stays on side. He's got a chance if he wants it. One-timer. Brocco got a piece of it. Thomas Cabral was ready at the right circle, and Rocco Bruno just robbed him. Nice glove stop. Really bounced off the top of his glove, up and out of play, which was the chance. But that's a College Hockey South All-Star, showing why he's named that. He's been not the busiest tonight and probably not his best night overall. He's let up a couple of rebounds at times, especially when Marshall was preying down on him. But, since Wool and Marshall have been scoring at the rate that they have, you can't really charge him too much against that. The Mocs have a lot of talent, showing that they can keep up with the best of the best. The number 2 team in the country trying to hold on as Bradley Peterlin keeps it deeper. Tied up in the left board. Battle ensues for it. A rush joins FAU up the right side. Baser with speed. Gets inside. Goes hard to the net. Scores! Baser with lightning speed up the right side, nets his second, and puts the goal lead back to 2. 9:27 to go. Baser's 15th of the season. The sophomore out of Pennsylvania continues hot. The first Florida Atlantic player tonight with multiple goals. And that one feels like a killer for Florida Southern. They had all of that sustained zone time going, getting Bruno moving. And Baser cashes in. Puck squirts in on Bruno, and he'll swallow it. And they'll give the only assist to DJ Randall. Time of the goal, 10 minutes and 27 seconds on my record. But it's that ability that FAU shows to score with rapid quickness, electricity, and they've got a chance for another. Look who it is. Baser stops on a dime. Well defended by Marshall, and taking away that seam opportunity up the middle was Michael Wool. Baser gets it back, though. He'll push it onside. A little too far onside as Marshall was the man there. Skies it between Murphy and Baser. Cuts it deeper to the zone. Defended well. Oliverio, opposite wing, comes back. Trying to tip it on goal was Murphy. Too far away. He'll wrap the blue line. Gives it to the left wing. We're thinking about the redirection was Murphy. Off the blade of Oliverio wide. Baser cuts to the middle. Tie up in the right corner. A group of players scrum away for it. Digging at it is Baser. Frees it up. First man is Thomas Cabral. Worked over for a moment. Randall out of the corner. Help coming with a fresh man, Aiden Georgiano. Dicks a man to the boards in front of Florida Southern's bench behind us. Georgiano just laid the lumber. And how about that for a statement? Georgiano coming up from the Division III squad, the sophomore joining the second semester. Biller stays on side. Oliverio. Georgiano's there at the point. Oliverio looking for the tip from the point. Just wide. Baraldi in. 7:40 to go in this hockey game. 6-4 FAU. The most 2 recent goals. We've had 4 in this period alone. Wool and Marshall trying to connect. This one is Rice, but a little out of sync. Biller finally gets help with Georgiano. Biller will spin, get onside, cuts from the right wing again, takes the shot well wide over the top of the crease. Now Brockett holds the line. Around the horn they go. Kind of freed up in the middle. And it's sent away off the boards by Caleb Van Horn. Big collision in front. Makavina laying out Tryon. And FAU is feeling that jump from the bench. Nearly stolen away. If they hurry. Here's Wool. Skates wide. Takes a sharp angle one. Missed it. Looking to go opposite corner on Bruno. And never got it on net. FAU has outmanned FSU so far. The last 3 minutes of zone time has been all FAU. The Owls looking for 10 straight to open their second semester, number 2 in the country, trying to really lock in their spot for nationals. Look out, Jet scores! A tip in front of the goal by Goldberg. What a feed from the half wall. 7-4 Owls. Perhaps the dagger for Florida Atlantic. Their 6th different goal scorer of the game. And with a couple of points now in this one, a goal and for sure an assist is Keith Goldberg, the junior of Cranbury, New Jersey. A AAA product, his 6th of the season. And the alternate captain cashes in at an opportune time. And now Florida Southern needs a timeout. Head coach, or rather assistant coach, Nick Nugent, the only one traveling for this Makajin group. we'll get official assist for you at the end of this contest, but really FAU creates a lot of those chances because of their ability on the rush, and I think this game more than all has really exemplified how electrifying they are and explosive that forecheck can be. You've seen at times tonight rush chances work out for Hunter Littman, Christian Cotter. The most recent one that we can count is Brady Bazers up the right wing, and credit to Florida Southern. Once again, they get the top scoring from Will Marshall and Michael Wool, but it really hasn't been enough as 5 goals have been scored in this third. 3 of them for the home team, 2 of them for the opposition, but 6:25 to go. Florida Southern would really have to dig in here as the Owls give it up for just a moment as Bradley Peterlin tries to work over Goldberg, the most recent scorer. Littman through the center of the ice. Peterlin tried to give it up for Colton Wyden. Marshall is there. Stops the puck in its tracks. Gives it to Williams. Has it stolen away by Cotter. Leaves it there. One-touch pass by Littman to an opposing Peterlin. D go the Owls. Georgiano stretches ahead. Sent back by Marshall. And Cotter will just circle his own zone. Littman through the middle. Peterlin has been all over the puck in this shift with Wyden trying to get some space. It's fielded in that side by Littman, and we have a stoppage of play and a penalty coming up. It's going to be on Marshall, or rather Peterlin, excuse me, who I mentioned his name a lot. And so, with that, now Florida Atlantic has really a golden chance to put this game in insurance. They are 0 for 3 on the power play tonight. Given up by Baser. Backhanded to Owens. One-timer blast. Blocked off the backside. That time of a defender in front. Murphy winds up. Shot. Redirected once. Didn't get everything he wanted on it. Randall. Broken stick opposite end. Murphy it is. Bruno out of the net to play it, seeing that. Nice heads-up play by the netminder. Now Owens skates alone. Stops. Waits for his numbers. Has help coming with Baraldi. He'll whistle around the horn. Murphy, look out, couldn't play it. Michael Wool might have a break if he hurries. Wool with a goal tonight, off the blocker. Bruno with a nice stop as he tried to pick the near corner. Murphy with a goal in this game. The go-ahead goal, 5-4 earlier in this period, holds it. He's got Owens and Randall with him. Onside, looks for Owens, gets it sticked away. Defensive play. As Carroll at the point, once again taken away, this time by Rice, and now it's a breakout. In tight to the net, shot comes, gets Bruno, and they score! Colton Wyden, his 12th of the year. And Florida Southern's not done yet. A second shorthanded goal, their 11th of the season, and the deficit is 2 once again. First, it was Marshall with his second on the 4-3 goal. And now Wyden has cut it a little bit shorter. 11 of those. And once again, that penalty crew that has been so good all season long continues its marks. If Florida Southern has one thing they do better than anybody in the country, it's scoring with a man down. And they are aggressive, and really they've been taking advantage. And that's something that Nick Nugent told me earlier today was when FAU gets aggressive on that power play, we want to take advantage of them because we know they're going to try and get deeper with it. It's worked out for them twice in this game. And Littman now is trying to put this one really on ice as a shot saved by Cribbs off the stick of Cotter. He gets it back, seam pass, another stop by Cribbs. It's up for grabs, the rebound, scores! Off an FSU defender in front. I believe the shot would have come from Hunter Littman. If it is, it's his second and the first power play goal of the night for Florida Atlantic. Holy smokes, that one for sure is going to make this, it looks like insurmountable. I guess you never know. But Littman, who opened the scoring tonight early in the first, gets the power play goal. 8-5. FAU once again showing why they're one of the top scoring units in the country and very resilient. Now the Mocs really need to think about getting Cribbs out of the net. They can't if Daniel Tove is there, however. He's got open space, drops it off. Stabile with it, skates around one defender, taken away and dumped by Caleb Van Horn. Wheeling with it is Brockett, gets around one defender, up the right wing, Tove down the middle, tries to center it up for him, played it off the glass and out to the center ice zone. Macavina dumps it back in because he's on the red line. Randall is there, rather Stabile. Tove, the man holding it is Van Horn. Van Horn with speed. Will play it deep. Brockett is there, taken away by Tove. Around the boards, kept onside. Rigolini shot out of the air, and Bruno gloves it calmly to get a whistle with 2:37 to go in this contest. Reminder, tomorrow the series continues on from Boca Ice Center. 5 p.m. puck drop between Florida Atlantic and Florida Southern. You can catch that right here on Owl TV. Not sure who will be on the call, if anybody. But a great night we've had so far in this one, as the first 100 students here actually received free jerseys and a nice blue sort of palm tree look, like the salmon pink look that FAU debuted last season. So not sure if that's continuing on tomorrow. You might want to show up to the game and find out if you can get one. Wyden coughs it up for Thander. Georgiano. Wyden is there from the slot, blocked down by Beraldi. Now Marshall, who's been so good. A hat trick in this game once again. 24 goals on the season for the Webster Groves, Missouri product. 5 shorthanded goals, make that 6 on the year. And Wool's got shorty as well. And coming in tonight, it was only Wool and Marshall who had all of those shorthanded goals. And now with that most recent shorty by Colton Wyden, he's the first Florida Southern forward not named those two to get one. And it's the leader in College Hockey South by a lot. And they played tough tonight. They were resilient. They were down by as much as 2 to start the game. Answered from Wool. Then Marshall had it tied up on 2 separate occasions in this game. But late in this one, Florida Atlantic had the opportunity to run away with it with help from Baser, Goldberg, and most recently Littman to give them the lead. Go-ahead goal by Murphy. And on their way to a 10th consecutive victory and their opener of the second semester. And FAU with Christian Long in his second season knows how close we were last year with runner-ups in the national championship to Florida, who's now a Division I squad in AAU. They're going to use this on as a springboard in their quest for that first national title. And an FAU team that did everything right except possibly the special teams. Here's Murphy, one touched off. Goldberg back in front, down on his knees. Cribbs spun around. Goldberg couldn't get the shot to a tough angle. 17 seconds left. Through the middle, one-timer blast, missed wide on Baser. Looking for the hat trick himself. 11 seconds until we're done with this one. And the Mocs, the reigning Division III runner-ups in the national championship. Their debut in Division II. Played one of their highest scoring games this season. Fortunately, it won't be enough for them as FAU on the substitute rink at the Panthers IceDen takes it away. Goals from 6 different Owls lead the charge in an effort that saw them make 65-plus shots on FSU netminder Jason Cribbs. In the end, Rocco Bruno and FAU gets the win over a resilient Florida Southern group that would not quit. An impressive victory tonight. They finish 1 for 4 on the power play. Florida Southern 0 for 2. And they send these folks home happy in Coral Springs, Florida. So we wrap up us one, the handshake line, getting ready to go through. Boy, fireworks in this one. 4 third-period goals from FAU lead the way. And even though they conceded 3 of them in this one late, and Christian Long and that group will have a little bit of growing pains to go through and talk about, but in the end, it's a 60-plus shot effort tonight. Final shot total, 71-27, which means Jason Cribbs unofficially stopped 63 of 71 tonight to get the win. And him and Simonian, back-to-back 60-plus save-up efforts isn't enough in the second of 3 games for the Mocs this weekend. But for FAU, they get the win in this opening series as we count out our final goal totals. 2 tonight for Jake Murphy, Hunter Littman, who has 5 on the year. 2 tonight for Brady Baser, who had that rush chance late. And really the icing on the cake in that 6-4 one. And then Jake Murphy, Justin Harshaw, Christian Cotter, and Keith Goldberg lead the way. So a plethora of scoring. Another win for FAU. They improve to 12-2-0-1 in the season, 11-1-0-1 in College Hockey South. They retain the 3rd spot over Central Florida. And meanwhile, Florida Southern right now unofficially tied with Miami at 13 points. That tie yesterday, but they'll have another crack at this team tomorrow as they fall to 4-9, 2-2 on the year, 4-9, 2-2 in College Hockey South play. And like we said, 5 o'clock puck drop will be from the Boca Ice Center in Boca Raton, Florida. Owl TV and our producer Mitch will have that one for you. Great job running the sticks tonight. Our camera personnel tonight, Francis and Carly. Great job running those. And thanks to everybody for listening in from Florida Southern. No, it was a rough one a bit, but hopefully we got it going later for you guys. I know what your school is called now, that's for sure. But Florida Southern's day, for everybody at our production team, Kendall Rickert and the rest of our team, thanks for watching this presentation of Florida Atlantic Hockey. Final score, 8-5. The Owls win 10 straight and roll into the second semester where they left off. Thanks for watching and have a great night.